30% of the Brazilians are faced with acute food shortage from the impact of the global health-threatening disease coronavirus pandemic. A local foundation in the South American nation is out to provide food assistance to the affected population to minimize human suffering amid the deteriorating situation. As the country prepares for the next presidential elections in October, the growing food insecurity and homelessness will dominate the public discourse. Let's have more details of that in this report.
It is lunchtime. Rio de Janeiro's poor and homeless are lining up to receive a free meal from the volunteers from Project Sem Fome, or No Hunger. The project was launched right after COVID-19 hit Brazil in March 2020, offering packages of food and water to the needy. Although the pandemic has subsided, the number of people asking for food has risen.
Since
we began the food drive, we've distributed around 90,000 meals, some 100 to 200 per day. But we are seeing more people showing up.
Carlos lost his job as a painter, has 2 children, and depends on the project to eat.
I
can't find work, and this project is helping us with at least 1 meal per day, and sometimes they also bring clothes. This has been going on for more than a year now.
According to a newly released study, the percentage of Brazilians unable to afford food for themselves or their families rose to a record 36% in 2021. Conducted by Brazil's Getúlio Vargas Foundation and based on Gallup World Poll data, the number of Brazilians facing food insecurity reached an all-time high since records began in 2006.
Houve aumento durante a pandemia de 4 vezes maior do que a média global.
There was a spike during the pandemic when food insecurity rose 4 times more in Brazil than in the world as a whole, affecting mainly the country's 20% poorest, amongst whom hunger has increased from 53% in 2019 to 75% in 2021.
The study also reveals that food insecurity in Brazil is nearing that of Zimbabwe, with which around 80% has some of the highest levels of hunger in the world. Scenes of homeless people living rough are becoming increasingly common in large Brazilian urban centers. And while the government's aid of around $80 per month to those facing poverty is now permanent and benefiting some 18 million families, the number of people experiencing food insecurity is much higher.
We are talking about more than 1/3 of the country's population. That 36% represents around 80 million people who are facing food insecurity. It is concerning.
As Brazil's October presidential election looms, experts believe the country's next president will need to increase and efficiently manage public spending to avoid an even deeper hunger crisis.